If you earn $80,000, you are not paying 32.5% tax. You never were, not on the whole lot. This is part 2 of the Australian tax series, how the Australian tax system actually works. Brackets versus the rate you really pay. A worked $80,000 example. 2025 to 26 rates. General information only, not personal tax advice. Check ato.gov.au or a registered tax agent for your situation. Australia uses a progressive income tax. Each extra dollar can be taxed at a higher rate as income rises. The rate on the last dollar is the marginal rate. The rate on the whole lot is the average, or effective, rate. They are not the same. Mixing them up is how people think they pay 32.5%. Here are the resident rates for 2025 to 26. They do not include the Medicare levy. 0 to 18,200, nil. That is the tax-free threshold from Part 1. 18,201 to 45,000 to 16 cents in the dollar. 45,001 to 135,000 to $4,288 plus 30 cents for each dollar over 45,000. 135,001 to 190,000, 31,288 plus 37 cents over 135,000. Above 190,000, 51,638 plus 45 cents. Until the 30th of June, 2024 the middle rate was 32.5 cents, and it kicked in at 45,001 up to 120,000. From the 1st of July, 2024 that 32.5 became 30 cents, and the 30-cent band now runs to 135,000. Same rates this year. 32.5 is gone. If a mate, a blog, or an old video still says 32.5, it is stale. Medicare levy of 2% sits on top for most people. You pay none if taxable income is $28,011 or less. It phases in up to $35,013. Full 2% after that. Seniors and pensioners have higher thresholds. Medicare is 2% of your taxable income, not 2% of the top slice. So if you are in the 30-cent band, the next dollar costs 30 cents of income tax plus 2 cents of Medicare. 32 cents. That is the marginal rate. It is not 32.5. And it is not what you pay on every dollar. Worked example. Taxable income 80,000. Australian resident. No help. No extra surcharge. The low income tax offset is already zero at this income. Foreign residents do not get the 18,200. This walkthrough is a resident. Split the 80,000 into 3 buckets. First 18,200, tax nil. Next 26,800, up to 45,000 to 16 cents. Check the arithmetic. 26,800 times 16 cents is $4,288 exactly. Same 4,288 the ATO prints in the table. Last 35,000, from 45,000 to 80,000 to 30 cents. That is 10,500. Income tax, 4,288 plus 10,500, 14,788. Medicare, 2% of 80,000, 1,600. Full levy, because 80,000 is well over 35,013. Total tax plus Medicare, 16,388. 30% of 80,000 is 24,000. You do not pay that. 32.5% of 80,000 is 26,000. You do not pay that either. You pay 14,788 in income tax, plus 1,600 Medicare. Average income tax rate, 14,788 divided by 80,000, 18.5 cents in the dollar. Add Medicare, 16,388 divided by 80,000, 20.5 cents in the dollar. That is the effective rate. About 20.5%. Not 30. Not 32. Not 32.5. Say it in bracket language. People say I am in the 30% bracket. That only describes the last slice. The first 18,200 was free. The next 26,800 was 16 cents. Only the last 35,000 was 30 cents. Cross 45,001 and only the extra dollar is 30 cents. You do not suddenly pay 30 cents on the whole 45,000. If taxable income were 45,000 on the nose, income tax is only that 4,288. One extra dollar of overtime at 80,000 does not cost 20.5 cents. It costs 32 cents. Average is history. Marginal is the next decision. Why 32.5 stuck? It was the real middle rate for years, up to the 30th of June, 2024. People round 30 plus 2 Medicare and land on 32.5. Help Extra withholding fattens the same tax withheld line on the payslip. Old calculators still float around. Why the payslip looks worse. PAYG withholding is built from weekly or fortnightly tables. It is a guess at the annual bill, not the bill. Overtime, a bonus, or a second job can withhold as if you earn that every week. Medicare is in there. Help can be in there. The percentage on one payslip is not your average rate. A refund does not mean you paid nothing. It means PAYG overshot. The 16,388 still left the building. Part 1 covered that. This example ignores help. If you have a study loan, extra comes out once repayment income is over 67,000. That is not income tax. Part 4 covers it. It also ignores the Medicare levy surcharge. That only starts if you have no private hospital cover, and income for surcharge purposes is over 101,000 as a single. Not this 80,000 example. The low income tax offset is automatic. Maximum $700 at $37,500 or less. It is gone by 66,667. At 80,000 you get none. Do not subtract 700 from this example. From the 1st of July, 2026, that is next year's return, not this one, the 16-cent rate drops to 15 cents. Same brackets otherwise. 1 cent off $26,800 is $268 if you earn $45,000 or more. If you earn under $45,000, you only get that 1 cent off the dollars that sat in the 16-cent band. Do not use 15 cents on the 2025 to 26 return. 37 cents starts at $135,001. 45 cents starts at $190,001. At 80,000 you are not there. Do not quote those rates as yours. Recap. 80,000, income tax 14,788. Plus Medicare 16,388. Effective 20.5 cents. Next $32 . Write those 4 down if you remember nothing else. An offset cuts tax. A deduction cuts taxable income. LITO is an offset. Bazza's tools are a deduction. Deductions cut taxable income. They do not cut tax $4. At 80,000, 1 extra dollar of deduction saves 30 cents of income tax and 2 cents of Medicare, 32 cents. Worked example of that is Part 3, with Bazza the plumber. How to lodge the return that uses these rates is Part 4. If this helped, subscribe. Playlist is in the description. Next is Part 3, what you can actually claim.